Good afternoon, Tiegerman, parents, families, friends, staff, and of course to our beloved students if you're watching, greetings. My name is Dr. Jeremy Tiegerman. I'm the director of Tiegerman Schools. I'm coming to you today from my office. Today is Friday, August 14th, 2020, and this is the next portion of our series of videos called the State of the Union. Students, families, and staff, we are now completing our 6th and final week of remote learning during the summer session. We did it. We completed the 2019-2020 school year. I want to thank our parents, families, students, and of course to our staff for all that you accomplished to date. I know things were not always perfect, but we did the best that we could during the period of remote instruction. We will now all go and enjoy our extended vacation and get ready for the start of the 2020-2021 school year. As always, I want to thank our frontline and essential workers for all that you're doing to help keep us safe. We applaud and appreciate all of you. At Tiegerman, we're always trying to strive to do better. We know that we could do better. We know that we make mistakes sometimes. So please, if you had feedback, if you have suggestions for us, please feel free to forward your thoughts and feelings to us at social@tiegerman.org. Thank you. I want to remind our students and their parents, and of course to our staff, to continue practicing wearing face coverings and send in a picture or video if you wish. As I always say, by practicing consistently, we will be as ready as possible to safely return to school in September. Thank you. Now on to my very important reopening updates. As I mentioned to you all last week, the entire state of New York was looking to Governor Cuomo for his decision on reopening schools in the fall. Right after I finished taping my State of the Union, he announced his decision to reopen schools in the state of New York in September. While he said schools may begin the process of reopening, he indicated that schools need to present their plans to staff and families in order to assure all stakeholders that our program is ready to safely open in September. At this point in time, we have submitted our reopening plans to the New York State Education Department and to the New York State Department of Health portal systems. In addition, we have been tasked by the governor to place all information on our reopening plans on our website, as well as to engage staff and families on the specifics of our plans. Our reopening plan and reopening plan related documents are presently on our website. Should you have difficulty finding that information, please reach out to your building principal immediately. By the end of the day today, Friday, August 14th, all Tiegerman staff has been engaged in multiple training seminars on the reopening plan, as well as will participate in Tiegerman's mandatory professional development that will focus solely on reopening our schools safely on Monday, August 31st and Tuesday, September 1st. Additionally, by the end of the day today, all building principals will have emailed our families information on reopening Zoom forum meetings that will be taking place with families prior to the start of the school year. Information on the schedule for the meetings can be found on our website. All buildings will schedule 3 meetings. Each of the first 2 meetings will be the same, meaning that it will go over the reopening plan in its entirety. We want to offer multiple times to try and accommodate as many family schedules as possible. The 3rd meeting will be the same content, but will be provided with the assistance of a Spanish translator for our Spanish-speaking families. Families that require translation in another language, contact your building principal as soon as possible. Please set aside at least an hour for this meeting, as principals will go over the entirety of the reopening plan, go over the start dates for all of our school programs, provide the most up-to-date information we have on transportation, and present specifics on what in-person and what remote instructional models will look like on a daily basis for our students in the fall. Like I said last week, we are still waiting on transportation guidance. I know how critical the transportation piece will be in your decision, and we have heard your questions and concerns. Once we get anything on transportation, we will let you know immediately. Somewhat related to this matter is the surveying we conducted this past week. I want to thank you all who participated and apologize to all of you if it created any stress for you. I recognize that your decisions may be tied into what happens with transportation and understand how difficult this decision is without that information. I want all of you to know that we sympathize with you, but hope you understand that without solid numbers, it has been very difficult to create schedules, to put together in-person and remote instructional plans, as well as to make certain staffing decisions. I know this is not your concern, but I wanted you to know that we have struggled with this. I believe that at this point, we have a firm sense of who wants in-person and who wants remote. Approximately 20 to 30% are still on the fence and want to wait for the information on transportation. Whenever that comes, we'll see. But please do not worry or stress. What we decided was that we will just count you, and when I'm speaking of you, the ones who are still on the fence, we will count you for in-person. And if you decide that you are not happy with what happens with transportation, we will simply slide you back into remote instruction. Remember, as I mentioned last time, it is more difficult to go from remote to in the physical space than to go from physical space to remote. Just a reminder from last week, Tiegerman Preschool and UPK, your first day of school will be Wednesday, September 2nd. While your child's first day of school is September 2nd, the instruction will be remote. Again, first day of school is the 2nd for UPK and Glen Cove Preschool, but it will be remote from September 2nd through September 4th. Tiegerman Preschool and UPK, your first day of in-person instruction will be after Labor Day on Tuesday, September 8th in the building. Tiegerman Elementary School, this is K through 5th grade. Tiegerman Middle School, 6th grade through 9th grade. Tiegerman High School, 9th grade through 12th grade, and Tiegerman School at Woodside, K through 12, will also begin the 2020-2021 school year on Wednesday, September 2nd. Just remember, from the 2nd through the 9th, all of the schools that I just mentioned, which is the elementary school, K through 5, the middle school, the high school, and Tiegerman School at Woodside, you will start in remote for teletherapy and for daily instruction. The reason that these days are in remote is that we've been informed by the New York City Office of Pupil Transportation, OPT, that transportation will begin for all of our New York City students on Thursday, September 10th. That is why we decided we will be full-time in-person instruction first day on Thursday, September 10th for all that chose in-person instruction. I know that may sound very confusing, but we also have emails that went out explaining this. If you did not understand what the email said, what I just said, you could please contact your building administrator for specifics on the first day of remote and the first day of in-person. But I just also want to remind all of you that I said last week that we also believe that the staggering of the school year, starting in remote and then starting several days later in the physical space, is somewhat of a blessing also. It was a curveball from transportation about starting on the 10th, but we believe that since we will be starting the first week in remote, this will allow the students to practice and acclimate to their new related service and academic schedules in remote. Should we have to ever slide back into remote instruction at some point during the school year, It also provides more time for our staff to practice in our buildings, remote instruction, and practice the necessary health and safety protocols in our school buildings from September 2nd through the 4th for preschool UPK, and September 2nd through the 9th for our other buildings, so that we are ready for the students when they arrive in the physical space on their first day of school. As I just mentioned, again, I know that was a lot of information that may be confusing. Please do not worry if you missed anything. Should you have any questions or concerns about start dates, please feel free to reach out to your building principal or to me at social@tiegerman.org. Finally, our building updates. There are no building updates today because today is our last day of school for the summer session. All of our building principals wanted me to congratulate their students for their hard work this year and can't wait to see everyone in the building or in remote in September. The principals, as do I, want all students and their families to know that this upcoming school year will be challenging. There will be ups and downs, successes and mistakes, just like in any other year. However, this year will also possibly include temporary classroom or building closures due to potential incidents of COVID-19. As I mentioned last time, we will never be shut down. We may just have to slide into remote until we are cleared to reopen in the physical space. The important thing for all of our students and families to know is that we are an educational family that will go through some of these challenges and hardships together. We will support and help one another. No one will go through this alone. Please expect another State of the Union from me right before our first day of school on September 2nd. Enjoy your break, take care, and stay safe. Have a good weekend, all.